Welcome to Flow with the Grow. I'm your host, Sophia, a health and fitness professional, positivity distributor, and a real-life human being with real-life challenges. Every Tuesday, you'll hear my honest conversations on the day-to-day highs and lows that life teaches us, as well as bring you actionable tips that you can implement to improve your health and wellness journey. This podcast will empower you to flow with the inevitable setbacks of life. You will learn what it means to flow with the grow, see through a lens of optimism, and navigate your way to living your best life. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Now let's jump into your daily dose of positivity and growth. Hello and happy holidays. It's so weird that it's December, the last month of 2021, and we're moving into a new year. That's so crazy. Time flies. All right, I have a really special episode today. I'm going to first share a couple life real updates. I say real because it's not all happy rainbow sunshine and goodness. But also I wanted to, since it's the holiday season, I wanted to go into an episode where hopefully you can take away some things, whether you can relate to this or some tips to help you if you are someone who you struggle during the holidays, much like I have in the past with food and body image and working out and a horrible repeating cycle of restricting, and then it's holiday season and then I binge. I'm going to share a couple stories with that, but binging and then feeling guilty and regretting it, and then waking up the next day feeling guilty and regretting it, and then working out for hours and then binge again. And having a mindset of, well, it's only the holidays. I need to eat all of these things. And then January, I'm done. I'm going to get back on track. I'm going to lose the weight that I gained. And all those voices in your head and in my head that are kind of ultimately have held me back, or did hold me back at that time. A mindset of restricting and not having balance or freedom to just have what you want to eat and not worry about, oh my gosh, I'm going to gain weight, or I'm going to regret it, or I need to allow certain foods, or I need to not allow certain foods. So today's going to be a special episode for that. But first, I kind of want to share some just life updates, things that have been happening. Well, first of all, me and Kiana just got back from about 10-day road trip, and it was amazing. It was such a nice getaway. We both love hiking, and we saw some pretty amazing views and had an awesome time just spending it together. To hear more about that story and our adventure 2, where we called it Conquer and Crack, not the bad type of crack, don't. I realize that it sounds much different than what it actually is. Okay, so Conquer and Crack, we actually share how that came about, that title, that name, a new tradition that was started, and you can learn more about just the adventures that we had, the places we went, where we hiked, the places that we saw, the views, the food that we ate, the local beers and ciders that we had, and P.S. if you hear anything in the background, that is our cat, Broccoli. I can hear him trying to get in into this room where I'm recording. Okay, anyways, you can visit www.sophandkey.com, where I have put in the blog entries, and I broke it up into hopefully bite-sized pieces. So it's not just one big blog entry, but instead it's 6, 7, 8 maybe entries. And I start with an intro, and then each one is a specific destination. So whether it was the Rocky Mountains, maybe it was Arches National Park, but I broke it up into the places that we went. So each is about 2 days maybe, sharing kind of in a story format. I found that I truly love blogging, which doesn't surprise me. I'm surprised that I haven't started sooner, but I knew eventually it was something I would possibly do. But I really love writing and blogging, that process. And it doesn't surprise me because I can, and it's funny because I have a podcast where I'm speaking, but I can do so much better thinking and then writing my thoughts versus trying to verbally say a story or things. Like, I just do a much better job when I can get my thoughts onto paper, because sometimes what I say isn't what I mean. So writing this blog has been fun for me. And I did it in a way that was more of kind of like a storytelling, but kept it simple and hopefully shorter, as well as included some images and pictures that we took. Because when I'm reading a blog, I like it to be quick and fast and skim through it. And when I'm looking for recommendations, I just like it to be kind of clear of like, this is the places we went or whatever I'm reading. And so I did that with the beer. We had a rating system, and you can check that out too. So again, that's www.sophandkey.com. So when you type that in, SOPHANDKI.com. I'm also, at the time of recording this, in the process of creating the vlog. So all the videos that we took, putting it together, and then putting that onto YouTube. So when this is released, when you're hearing this, it's probably not going to be up yet because it's going to take me a long time, but I will be sure to let you know when that is up. Or if you're following our YouTube channel, Soph and Key, I believe is what it's called, I will link that in the show notes. Then you can also just go and check that out to see if that's up. And we have Adventure 1 on there as well. We don't have the blogs from that since we just started Adventure 2 with the blogs, but yeah, go ahead and check that out. Hopefully you can see some of the views, and then any of the recommendations that we had for food, beer, and more importantly, the hikes and the places that we recommend you go see if you are going to be going hiking or looking for hiking places in those areas. Okay, another update. So if you've been following me on this podcasting journey, and if you've been following me for, I guess, since the beginning, you know that I worked at Anytime Fitness. I was working there full time, almost 6 years, so about 5.5. And I decided to leave and make that jump of starting my own business with podcasting and eventually health and fitness. Oh, and by the way, Soph and Key is all things adventure and hiking, but eventually it's going to incorporate health and fitness and workout programs. Maybe I shouldn't say that, but yeah, so health and fitness stuff. Eventually you can expect stuff for that. So anyways, I made that leap to quit and go for it, like really go for what I envision myself doing. And although I do believe that it's still possible, I believe that I can do it and that I will do it. I've had more self-doubt thoughts than ever before, I feel like now that I'm actually fully doing it and have to commit to this and I'm doing what I envision myself doing, I have really had to talk to myself, talk through the self-doubt moments, which I had less of before. Before I quit Anytime Fitness, I feel like I had less of that. I'm not really sure why that is, but now more than ever, I really do have that self-doubt. And there's so many things that in my mind of, is this gonna work? I compare myself to other people, which I'm gonna stop scrolling on Instagram because that makes it worse. But I compare myself. I am like, am I really going to make it? Can I grow? Can I grow a community? Can I grow this business? Like just all of those self-doubt thoughts. And today, which will actually be previously from when this is released, I really had a moment of self-doubt and being scared. And I just shout out to my amazing partner, Kiana. She really just reels me in sometimes from, first of all, me needing and wanting to do everything at once, but she is just right there hugging me and reassuring me that I can do it, I'm gonna do it, that it's okay to not have everything happen right away. It's gonna be a slow process. So it's been refreshing and reassuring to have her right by my side, supporting me and believing in me and helping me. And yeah, so just shout out to her. I love her so much. But for that and so many other reasons. But I just today really had a thinking of, okay, I'm not going to sugarcoat it here, but financially, I'm I am not well financially if I were to be off on my own. Like, I don't know. I feel the need to say that just because it is a real thing right now in this part of my journey. I don't know if some people think, well, maybe I do have, stability right now. And I mean, I do to some degree, but it's in the beginning stages. So I'm not going to be racking in the money right away. And I knew that, right? Like, if you listen to my episode about me leaving Anytime Fitness, I had said that I'm leaving one hard and going to the next. And there's more hards, I feel like, in this stage. And I know that it's going to be slow, but I feel sometimes how I need to be doing more. I'm not doing enough. I don't feel guilty, really. Like, I used to feel guilty for that, but it's more so at times just feeling like I'm letting myself down and maybe Kiana down a little bit, when really I know that these thoughts are going to come a lot. They're going to come and go, and I need to practice that self-talk of belief and that it's okay to grow slow, and this is just a part of the process, and I expected that this was going to happen or that it could happen. And then also, I think not having a specific routine every day, lately anyways, has also thrown me off in a way, which will also tie into today's episode for what I'm going to talk about for when you're kind of out of a routine, like especially for the holidays. But I have to, again, reassure myself that, number one, it's okay for routine to change. It's okay to not really have a routine. Like, I just have to go with it and do the best, think about what I can do with where I'm at, and remember that small steps are still steps, and being consistent is going to help with growth and things that I will accomplish later on, and it'll lead to the bigger results. So I feel like this can hopefully be relatable in some way to your life, whether it is maybe a hobby or a passion project, or you're working on a side hustle, or like just, I don't know, whatever it is. Like, we all have shit going on. It's never what it seems, maybe on social media, where that person has their shit together, they are making moves, doing the thing, but behind that curtain, you don't see the tears, the struggle, the lows, the downs, the self-doubt that person has, when maybe you feel like you're the only one that has self-doubt. Everyone has self-doubt, and we're all trying to navigate that. And I just felt like it was important to share that piece of my journey right now. And also, it'll kind of tie into today's episode, which is about, of course, the holidays. I thought it was great timing because I know that since we're in the beginning of December, the holiday parties are going to begin. The work parties, friends, family. Maybe you have like 3-4 different sides of the family, and you're going to have 3 or 4 Christmases. The treats that people will bring into work. Maybe you love to do holiday baking and you only do that during the holidays, whatever it may be. And I feel like it can be stressful, especially if you have a family, if you're a parent, or whoever you are, whatever your role is. There's getting gifts and prepping food and doing the holiday baking and trying to maybe eat healthier and trying to do a workout. Maybe you feel like you have less time, or you just don't have a routine, or you're thrown off of your routine. Whatever it is, I feel like there's something that we all maybe struggle with during the holidays. And maybe not. If you don't, that's awesome. That's great. I'm going to focus more so on the health and fitness aspect, the food, the workouts, the mindset. These are just things to consider. And I'm not saying that you have to be healthier through the holidays, or that there's a certain way to do things. I just know from my experience that what I used to do when trying to be healthier, and just the whole mindset was not healthy itself. And then the things that I learned and practiced throughout the years have helped me in my pursuit of freedom from restricting and having more of this like peacefulness with my body, I guess. This is not going to be an episode where I'm going to say 10 ways to be healthier through the holidays. because I feel like I used to do that. And sometimes that I know people do that. And I think that's awesome to help other people to be healthier through the holidays if that's what they're wanting. But also I think there's a component to then placing pressure on a person to be healthier. But you honestly don't have to do a dang thing. It totally is up to you. And I'm going to get into that as well. But first, I kind of explained it in the beginning, but I'm going to share what I used to do during the holidays. There was one year where I was at a time in my life where prior to the holidays, I was restricting a lot. So when holiday season came, and my mindset was, well, this is the only time I'm going to get stuff like this, so I'm going to go all out. And maybe I didn't necessarily think about I'm going to go all out, but that's just what happened as I was eating. It was like, I'm eating this thing, I'm not going to get it after the holidays, it's only during the holidays, and I'm going to continue to eat it. And it was legit like I couldn't stop eating. And then come nighttime, I was stuffed full. And then massive guilt set in and regret. And I said to myself, okay, tomorrow, the next day, I am not going to do that. And I'm going to work out a lot. And guess what happened? The same thing. It was seriously a cycle of binging and eating everything, working out for 2 hours before that, and not having control. It's like I couldn't stop eating. And then that guilt would set in again, and it would happen over and over. And then come January, I found myself in a sad state, and again, guilt and regret. But I also found myself still in that cycle, maybe not as bad or to that degree, but I found myself still struggling with food control and having balance. And I think we should talk about balance for a second. Balance, I think, is different for every person. So to me, when I say balance, I always envisioned myself being able to have sweets, but not going out of control, only having a little bit and being good with that, and not allowing certain foods, not restricting and then binging and going back and forth and then having this yo-yo effect going on. So maybe think about what balance means for you. So that was one year. There was another year where I really tried to tune in and dial in my food. I would go on maybe like a cleanse or something to help me stay on track, which I would do very well with. But again, I wanted to be able to have control without needing to be on a certain diet or cleanse. And it was like each year I would practice more and more my mindset around food, or even mindset around workouts. But again, I feel like I would always find myself after the holidays going back into the cycle of restricting and not allowing certain foods and trying to work out 4 hours a day. So I'm going to share a few. These are not rules. I don't want you to see them as rules. They're things that have helped me in order to get to where I am today. And then things to keep in mind for when a holiday party comes up or there's the food that comes into work. I'm going to try and give some specific examples as well. So firstly, I would say, and I would encourage you to practice not restricting foods. And not restricting foods not only during the holiday season and at parties, although yes, this is an episode for the holiday season, but what really matters is what leads into the holidays. If you can practice not restricting outside of the holidays, then when the holidays do come, you won't feel as pressured to try to restrict certain foods. That's like one big thing that I've learned along the way is that like each year, each holiday season has been practice for where I'm at now in my mindset and with my body and with food and with fitness, but also the other months and days and weeks have been practice leading up to the holiday season. So not restricting foods, but also I've learned to not allow specific foods and quantity. Okay, let me expand on that. I used to, in the past, think about what specific foods I would allow, like only allow, or specific foods that I wouldn't allow. I would also tell myself that I could only have a certain amount, so quantity. By having in my mind a specific food or quantity of something, it would really put pressure on me to stick to that. And yes, maybe it helped in some ways, but also if I didn't stick to that, I would feel guilty about it and maybe regret it. And then if I went over my limit, I would kind of just say, screw it. I'm going to have all of it, or I'm going to have more. More of like that all or nothing mentality. And that's really what I would have in the past, was an all or nothing mentality during the holidays, and especially with sweets, because I have a massive sweet tooth and there are so many sweets during the holidays. Okay, what I'm about to say now is very important because I think how you go through your holidays and what you're wanting to maybe accomplish or work on, whether it's sticking to a routine, trying to fit in your workouts, eating, maybe you want to change up the way that you're eating, or you want to also incorporate healthier foods with the Christmas goodies. It all depends. It all depends on you. And anything that I say for a tip or even things that have helped me, any words of advice that I give is all really coming from my experience. But any answer that I have for how to eat healthier during the holidays, or how to fit in workouts during the holidays, or how to stick to your routine during the holidays, that all depends on you. It depends on what you decide as your intentions. So you have to decide on some intentions. What are your intentions? What are your goals during the holidays? Maybe it's nothing. Maybe you just want to live day by day. Maybe you don't have a goal. Maybe you do have a goal to eat healthier this year. Maybe this year you want to start working out before January. Maybe this year you want to have more balance when you go to holiday parties and there's sweets. You want to be able to have those sweets and feel good about it and not regret it, not feel guilty. But each person is going to be different, and you need to decide that for yourself. So I would encourage you to set some intentions. Think about your goals during the holidays, not just after the holidays, not just before, but like going into that was one thing that really helped me, was going into the holiday season. What was one or two things in my head? I would think, what are one or two things that I want to work on this holiday season so that I don't have this pressure, or I'm not feeling guilty and regretful after the holidays, or I'm not being in this yo-yoing cycle of binging and restricting and then feeling bad. So if there's one main takeaway from today's episode, it's just that. I want you to, and I would encourage you to really think and set some intentions and goals. Doesn't have to be a lot. It can be one, maybe two. The next thing that I want you to remember, and also this is something that I learned and has helped me in my mindset, is to expect that you'll maybe eat more and drink more. For me, I kind of one day just realized and expected that, and realized that's okay, that during the holidays, I'm probably going to eat more, because personally, I want to enjoy those foods that I only get at the holidays. I don't want to go all out and eat and feel full and sick and then guilty. But I want to enjoy that stuff. So in my mind, I'm going to expect that I'm going to eat a bit more of that. And when I expect that, then there's more of this lighter feeling. I'm more kind of at ease. And when I go to eat those things, I don't feel guilty or regretful. And I found that I just naturally could control what I ate and how much I ate better than I had in previous years. And then it also releases some of that pressure to not eat certain foods, or releases pressure to try to be healthier and eat healthier. And also, when I would try and restrict those foods, that's what I would want more of, was those sweets or anything else that I tried to restrict. This next tip is a tactic that has really helped me during the holidays. And it also not only had helped me during the holidays, but even outside of the holiday season. And it is one thing that has helped propel me to where I am today with my food and food freedom and control and body image and all of that. And that is to practice visualization before holiday parties and maybe even to write it out. So let me give you an example. I would do this multiple times, but this is going to be a specific example to a specific holiday party that I went to. This was, I think, 2 years ago, maybe 3. I remember being at home and thinking back to past holidays, and I decided that I wanted to not restrict foods. I wanted to allow, maybe not necessarily allow, but I wanted to be able to eat the sweets and foods and not feel bad about it. But also, I didn't want to go overboard. Like, I was at a point in my life where I was really trying to get out of the yo-yo dieting cycle. I was really trying to have more control and focus and be in a better mindset around food. So, here's what I did. The day of, actually, I can't remember. It was either the day of the party or maybe the day before, but I first decided to write down my intentions for the party. I wanted to write down how I would feel during the food and after the food. So I really took some time to write that all out. And then the next step was to visualize all of it. So much like my meditation practice, I would close my eyes and I started from the very beginning of me being at my apartment, and I would really picture and embody as many details as possible. So what I was wearing, how I was feeling before going to the party, and the party was a family Christmas gathering at my sister's. So I visualized that. I visualized going to the party. I visualized the food that would be there. I visualized getting my food. And at that time, one of my intentions was if I wanted to try everything, just have a little bit of everything and eat it slowly. At this point in my journey, I was also focusing on slowing down when I ate and really enjoying every single bite. Like, as humans, we just go really, really fast, and maybe take note and notice when you're eating. Are you taking a spoonful, eating it, and then already going for the next one? Or are you taking that bite, setting the silverware down, and really slowly chewing and really tasting every single bite? It sounds ridiculous, but it makes a huge difference. So I visualized what food I was going to have, how much. I visualized even where I was going to sit at the table. I visualized eating slow, really enjoying it. I visualized having the cookies that were going to be there. And then I visualized and really embodied how I was going to feel after eating. In the past, I would eat really fast and feel too full and then regret that. So in my visualization, I slowed it down. I enjoyed every single bite. After eating, I really, in my visualization, embodied feeling not full, like feeling satisfied, and then enjoying those cookies. And again, feeling satisfied. And also I visualized not regretting it, not regretting anything, not feeling guilty. And I found myself, when I actually went to the party, everything that I visualized happened, even down to where I sat at the table, which was crazy because I went to go sit and then I realized, oh my gosh, I visualized sitting right here in this spot. So if this is something that you've never tried before, I would encourage you to give it a try. And this doesn't have to be just during the holiday season. It's something and a tactic that you can use and do even at any point in the year. And I also want to take a moment to say that, friends and family may sometimes give you pushback and say, well, why aren't you eating that? Or, oh, come on, it's just one or two more. Or I don't know. I've just always heard people kind of say, and it's, happened to me too, but having friends and family give you pushback or bring you down or put down what you're trying to do. Like, let's say you're trying to eat a bit healthier and you don't take as much food, or you don't eat something like a certain something just because you don't want it. And you can really think about, okay, do I really want this? Am I going to really enjoy this? And then decide to. But if you have friends and family who do this, not just during the holidays, but at any point in your life, what has helped me in the past is really just to remember that it's my body, not theirs. It's my life, not theirs. I'm doing this for me. And you can explain, you don't have to explain anything. You can if you want, but I know for me, anytime someone said anything, it would go in one ear and out the other. Maybe that's easier said than done, but ultimately I just knew that whatever my goals were or intentions or whatever they are currently, like, it is for me, not them. It's for the best interest of myself and my future. And then moving on to workouts. If you're someone who maybe you are just starting and you're wanting to start working out even before the new year, maybe you're just trying to fit in a short workout or movement every single day. Whatever your goal is or intention with this is, I think it's important to first decide what that intention is and then make a plan. I know for me in the past, what really helps me and what I learned is doing something in the morning is best, because it's going to help me to make better food choices. Like, I will choose different options just because of doing a workout in the morning or going for a walk. And never underestimate the power of a walk or just doing a 5 to 10 minute workout. It doesn't have to be a long 1-2 hour workout. So if you're someone who you are struggling with a workout routine or doing a workout, I would say just choosing something that is 5 to 10 minutes every day can make a big difference. You're getting your body moving, dopamine flowing. It'll maybe help you to be more productive and have a more positive attitude. Your mood will be different. Like, just that 5 to 10 minute workout or a walk can make a huge difference in your day. Maybe that 5 to 10 minute workout is either at the gym or at home. You could focus on maybe 1 or 2 specific exercises, like maybe it's a squat or maybe push-ups or maybe a lunge, but like just practicing 1 or 2 things. Just by doing that 5 to 10 minute workout or a walk can help you to, if you have that goal or intention to eat a little bit healthier, it'll help you to do that. Another perspective and kind of mindset shift that I have learned along the way is to just take it day by day. Like, yes, we're in the holiday season. It is December. It is after Thanksgiving, where you probably already had a lot of food. But all you can do is take it day by day. And I think when you approach it that way, it's more doable. It's less stressful. It puts less pressure on you. And each day decide, maybe make 1 or 2 intentions for that day. Especially if maybe you have a work party or treats are brought into the office. And maybe even before you know there's going to be treats in the office, you can decide what your intention is for that. Are you going to have one? Are you going to not have any at all? I think that if you are someone who you're trying to, or you struggle with having sweets all around, decide if you want to have the sweets or if you want to not have those sweets. And if you don't, what's your plan? Maybe it's bringing extra snacks to work. Maybe it's going to be bringing something that's going to be similar to that sweet, but a healthier alternative. And then also what's helped me in the past is thinking about how I'm going to feel after that. Like, if someone brings in Christmas goodies and I decide I don't want to have any of that and I bring in something that's my own, it might be hard in the moment, but afterwards, I'm going to feel proud. I'm going to feel accomplished. I'm going to feel better in my gut, like physically. I won't feel weighed down. I won't feel sick. Maybe your intention is to have 1 or 2, like you want to enjoy those things. Then maybe your intention is, yes, I'm going to have 2 or, whatever it is, like you're going to have a few of those and you're going to enjoy it. So maybe the intention is you're going to sit, you're going to enjoy every single bite. And then you're going to feel proud that you had the 2, you didn't go overboard, you enjoyed it, you had that control. Just like we take our health and fitness goals day by day, every other day, besides the holidays, I think the same approach can be helpful during the holiday season. and to remember that every day is a new day. Maybe you went overboard one day and you feel a little bit guilty. Then again, it's just talking through that. It's okay. You have the next day. You have tomorrow. What are you going to do to get back on track? So like I said before, expecting that maybe you're going to eat more, expecting that maybe you're going to drink more, expecting that maybe there's going to be 1 or 2 times where you do go overboard. Because then when it does happen, it's not as defeating and you can make a new game plan moving forward. And it's not as unexpected, so you don't feel maybe as regretful. And while we're talking about being guilty, I can't just say, well, don't be guilty for not having those sweets or for going overboard. I can't say that because I know from experience, it's hard to get past. It's hard to just not feel guilty. Like you can't just not feel guilty when you feel guilty. But the power is going to be practicing these things. Again, not just during the holiday season, but outside of the holiday season. You could have an affirmation of some sort. So when you feel guilty, what's going to be something that you can say to yourself over and over to help you move forward instead of being stuck in the past of thinking about what you could have done differently? For me, I would say things to myself like, okay, this happened. I can't do anything about it. All I can do is move forward. All I can do and have control of is what my next choice is going to be. And a lot of this is going to be talking to yourself in your head. When you're presented with the option of those holiday goodies or whatever it is, really think about, okay, how am I going to feel if I eat this? Is it going to be exciting and taste really good and I'm going to be happy and joyful that I ate it? Or is it going to be just okay tasting and I'm going to regret it and it's not going to make me feel good? And then you can really make a solid decision from there. And then you can learn from that. Intentional practice day to day and during the holidays, both outside of the holidays day to day and during the holidays day to day, is something that I have found works best for me because each year it has gotten, I don't want to say better, but I feel like I've moved forward in the relationship I have with my food and with fitness and with my body. It's like it becomes lighter and lighter each year and easier and more freeing. It's like this slow progression. Now let's quick talk about if you do feel guilty. If you feel guilty post-holiday season, because let's be real, this happens even when it's not the holidays. But in my experience, I have experienced being super guilty after the holidays or having a bunch of sweets. So feeling guilty post-holidays. Number 1, I would encourage you to make a plan, make a new plan, something that incorporates food, fitness, and something for growth. And have a component of fun and newness. For me, when I write a plan, it's something that I can look forward to. It's new, I get excited about it, and it helps me to just, again, move forward and get back on track. You could keep it simple and choose one thing for each of those, or maybe you're just wanting to focus on just the food aspect. Maybe it's just the workouts, maybe it's just for growth. But coming up with a plan. I know for me, in the past, I have loved writing down fitness, so like my workouts, and then I write down what my workouts are going to be. How many days per week am I going to work out? What are my workouts going to be? Like I write down everything for that, like a plan for my workouts, for my fitness. And then I have written down a plan for my food. Maybe I'm going to incorporate more plant-based meals. Maybe I'm going to write down my meal 1, meal 2, meal 3. I personally like to just do 1 week at a time, so I would only write my meals for that week. And then for my growth, maybe I want to learn more about leadership, or maybe I want to learn more about nutrition. Maybe my growth is wanting to be more so around self-confidence. Like whatever it is, maybe you choose an Audible, you get a book to read, you listen to something on YouTube, but writing something down to help you for your mindset, to help that growth. So making a plan, having a component of fun and newness, something that you can look forward to, and writing it down. And then reminding yourself that it does no good looking in the past. It does no good looking in that rear view mirror at the past because you'll crash. You will, like, quite literally, when you are just looking behind you or at that rear view mirror, it's hard saying those words, as you're driving, you will likely crash eventually. And the same is true in our minds. So you have to look forward. Maybe you want to write down some affirmations for the new year. Maybe you want to decide, like in old people choose a word for the year or a specific intention. Maybe you want to write down some goals, but something that's going to help you to move forward and look forward to something in the next year. So hopefully those give you some actionable tips and steps for if guilt sets in. I would say if you're someone who you want to know more about how to balance sweets or how to balance any sort of food during the holiday season, just a recap would be, number one, decide on what your intentions are, what your goals are for this holiday season for around food and your workouts and routine. Number two, expect that maybe you're going to eat more. Expect that you might drink more. Expect that you might get thrown off your routine a little bit more. And just remember that routine can change. It can change even day to day. Maybe you don't have a routine at all, like me. I don't really have a routine right now. And I just kind of have accepted it in my mind. Like I know that I can work with what I do have, with where I'm at, and that's okay. Next, this is all going to be practice. Again, it's practice during the holiday season for the next holiday season. It's practice outside of the holiday season for when you do get to the holiday season. And then I would encourage you to not restrict foods. I would encourage you to think about not having certain foods where you allow or don't allow. And again, that's going to go back to whatever your intention is that you decide on for the holiday season. And then, of course, workouts. I would encourage you to do something every day, maybe every other day, with some sort of movement, especially in the morning time. Maybe it's a walk, maybe it's something short at home, but that's going to help you. I think that will. I have confidence that if you do that more and more consistently, you'll find that you'll start to choose healthier options. You'll find that you will have a better attitude. You will be more productive. You'll have more calm. And just know that whatever you do for your workout, whether it's an hour in the gym or 10 minutes at home or 5 minutes at home, that can make a huge difference. And lastly, I hope that I've kind of said this already in some way, but it's okay if you are someone that struggles to stick with your workout and healthier eating routine during the holidays. It's okay. And I think it's important to note too that you're not alone in that. And that is where having a different routine is okay too. Like, it's going to change. And maybe during the holiday seasons, you just know and expect that your routine is going to change a bit, and expect that and accept that. I know I've said that so many times in the past, but I feel like that's something that has really helped me, is just to know that during the holidays, it's a busy time. There's a lot going on mentally and just physically, and with work and family and parties. And that it's okay if your routine changes or you struggle to stick with a healthier eating routine and with workouts. It's just finding a routine that works for you during the holidays. A lot of trial and error. And maybe right now, after this episode, you sit down and you write a plan for the holidays. Moving forward from now till January, what is your intentions? What are you going to do? What are you going to do for workouts? How are you going to handle the food situation? What are your goals for that during the holidays? What do you want to be able to do? Like, to have food control, to have some sweets, to have that balance. What are you going to make sure to do with when you do go to parties? Maybe it's drinking a lot of water, also not restricting before the parties, having vegetables incorporated. But again, it's okay if you are thrown off your routine. You're not the only one, and come up with a plan. If you're someone who you, during the holidays, binge and eat everything, and then January, you're just going to get back on track, if that's your mindset, I would encourage you to try and take a different approach. Yes, enjoy those foods and those things for sure, but maybe it's working on that visualization component and that technique, that tactic before you go to parties, or even doing it now before, for the rest of the month. Maybe it's also accepting and realizing that these foods that you only get during the holidays are going to be here, and you want those, and you are going to have some of that, but also you're going to do it in a way where you can have control, and you're going to practice slowing down eating those things and really truly enjoying that. If you struggle to keep balance with sweets all around and you're not sure how to balance all of that, I want you to keep in mind that it all starts within your mindset. Like, I feel like I've come to a place where I can have control and balance with sweets because sweets are my weakness, but it all starts within your mind and the thoughts that you say to yourself. And the biggest thing that I feel like has helped me with that is to not, in my mind, have a restrictive all or nothing mindset. Because when I do, that's when I would binge on everything and it would be really hard to not have the sweets because that's all I would think about was because I was restricting that, not wanting to eat it. But then that's, again, all I could think about, and it would be really hard to just have one. And I think you need to decide if you want to not have any of the sweets or if you want to be able to have some of the sweets in your mind. And then again, this goes back to deciding what your goals are and intentions are for the sweets and this holiday season. And then if you're someone who, after the holidays, you do feel guilty for eating more sweets and just food in general, number one, you are not alone in that. Number two, make a plan for post-holidays and maybe create an affirmation for yourself for when you do start to feel that guilt. And number three, the work comes outside of the holidays. I feel like I've moved past that feeling guilty after the holidays because of the work I've done non-holiday season. Because I'm assuming and I'm guessing that if you feel guilty after the holidays, there's so many times throughout non-holidays where you feel that guilt as well. And maybe not, but I think it's so easy for us to eat things and then feel guilty for that. So it's deciding how you're going to handle that guilt. And a tip too is maybe to change the word guilt or having a phrase. So when you have that in your mind, come to mind of you feel guilty for eating certain things, you change that to I'm moving forward in my life. Like, it can be something totally different. So instead of I feel guilty, or when you do think that, maybe your automatic thought then is I'm going to move forward, or I learned this, or I'm going to do something different now. Also, I think one of the number one things that I've done to help me not feel guilty is to not put pressure on myself and have all these rules for the holiday season and for meals and parties. Once I started setting intentions for the holidays, once I started visualizing myself going through how I wanted to feel, what I wanted to eat, all of those things, those are the little steps, more the mindful steps, but are also big steps. Once I decided that I'm going to have more sweets, I actually had less sweets. And then as I began to work on these outside of the holiday season, it has helped me in the holiday season. So this was a little bit different. It was not a typical how to balance sweets or to have different steps of how to have a healthier holiday season, but more so a lot of different thought concepts that you can implement in any day of your life, which will then ultimately hopefully help you overall in general, and then will help you during the holiday season with whatever it is that you specifically struggle with. So decide on what your intentions are, what your goals are during the holiday season, make a plan, and start practicing those things. And of course, remember that it is okay to be thrown off your game a bit, to be thrown off your routine, to struggle a little bit during the holiday season. It's normal, it's human, and it's okay. If you have any questions or feedback or any other topics that you would like me to cover, or even just letting me know how this episode helped you in any way, or any episode helped you in any way, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram at Sophia_Dawn41. You can also email flowwiththegrowpodcast@gmail.com. Those will both be linked in the show notes. Thank you for being here. I hope you are enjoying this holiday season with family and friends and the food in any way that you decide. We'll see you next time, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, night, week, weekend. Bye for now. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Flow with the Grow.
I'll see you next week for your daily dose of positivity and growth.